Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. Happy Friday. We have 9 games tonight to talk about. So let's get into it. It was a good night yesterday. It's been a pretty good week for NBA so far. Let's keep it going, hit on both sites. Yesterday, I posted the updates on Twitter. Giannis was a key piece, dropping almost 70. James Harden obviously was a lock once Kyrie and Durant were ruled out. But let's get into today's video. If you enjoy the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to check out the website, I posted a $25 playoff pass for NFL, which is starting tomorrow. Check that out. You can join for NBA. Check out Prize Picks. I post the picks on Twitter closer to lock. And you can follow me on Twitter for updates at the DFS process. So starting off at the point guard position today, we have a couple of studs at the top end. As usual, you have Luka. It's 10-9. He's been struggling even without Porzingis and just not been hitting his shots. He's been under 35% the last 2 games, under 40% in the last 4 games. The three-point shot has just not been falling for him. He still fills up the assist, rebounding. I think he's still a fine play when there's no Jokic, no Giannis on a slate. It's pretty easy to get up to Luka, no LeBron either. So he's playable today, but I think there's other ways to go. Steph Curry continues to just struggle a little bit. His shot's not been falling. He seems to be tired. He's 10-6 right now. I think you can go to him because there's no Klay Thompson today, and there's also no Gary Payton, so they're a little bit shorthanded. I don't think Draymond's going to play either today. So probably more ball handling for Curry. You can maybe take the over on his assists. And he only played 29 minutes. It was a blowout loss against Milwaukee. So hopefully they keep him. That kept him a little bit fresh to play his normal 36 to 39 minutes tonight. And then you have Trae Young at 10-4. I probably like Curry more than Trae Young today. You have DeJounte Murray at 10-2. Monster game last time out, but if he gets his reinforcements back with Derek White and the bench, some of the bench pieces, and maybe Keldon Johnson, then he's not going to be much of a play. Cleveland does play good defense. You have Van Fleet right at 10K. Maybe if they're without Scotty Barnes and Gary Trent, he looks playable, but 10K is a pretty high price tag, even though Van Fleet's been having a very good year. In the mid-range, I think you can definitely go to LaMelo Ball going up against Orlando. With them being healthy, he just hasn't been putting up as big monster games with them having. Rozier's been playing very well. Hayward had a monster game last time out. Bridges still has a very good game, but I definitely would expect him to shoot the ball a lot better. He shot 0 of 8 from distance, only 5 of 16. Probably should have had another 40 spot last game. In the 7K range, I think Cole Anthony looks appealing at 78. You can go maybe with Kyle Lowry if Butler is out today, but he's questionable right now. I like De'Aaron Fox today. Don't play him much this year, but going up against Houston is just a very good spot to target a guy like Fox who likes to get up and down the court. Houston plays fast. He's very good with getting deflections and getting steals. Houston gives up the most points in the league. The Kings play at a pretty fast pace as well, and they try to score points, even though Fox is having a dreadful year shooting the ball in terms of three-point percentage, and the free throws percentage is down a little bit as well. He's not been a great free throw shooter for his career, but definitely can have a much better game today. He's still playing big minutes, 37 to 38 in close games, and he has been scoring the ball much better, even though he's not hitting a lot of his threes. He's still been able to get into the paint and get some layups, which is what he's known for. So we're going to plug in Fox right now at his appealing price tag at 76. Other guys that look appealing would be Rozier at 74. Brogdon is such a risky player because even though he played last game, he got re-injured. So I don't know if he'll play today. Probably not. Just got word that Smart is out today. So more minutes for Schroeder, more minutes or just more ball handling for like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And then for the 4K range options here, don't have much. Maybe Washington's not even that appealing now that LeVert is back, so probably pass on these guys. Don't see anybody that jumps off the page. 3K range, same type of deal. Maybe you can go to Dossimu, but probably better value plays. At shooting guard, your pay-ups are Van Fleet. Probably like Jaylen Brown today more than Van Fleet. Save $1,000. No Marcus Smart also. LaMelo looks fine at 89. I like him more than Booker. Zach LaVine, with them being pretty much, with them having their big four intact, it's tough for these guys to just go off unless they're just having a great game and they just continue to shoot a lot of shots. But LaVine's just been in that steady 34 fantasy point range. He hasn't really done more than 33, 34 recently. He's only had like one big game, like 47, 52, 49 recently. That was like definitely a couple weeks ago when they were still missing some guys. But only took 13 shots, 10 shots. They just have a lot of guys that are going to shoot the ball, so you're not even going to get it like 20 plus shots guaranteed for a guy like Zach LaVine, like you would have in past years. For me, the value picks look pretty good at this position. I'm going to start with Bogdanovich at 53. They just traded away Cam Reddish, and there's still no Capella, so they're a little bit shorthanded with the wings. And Bogdanovich should be starting again, and he played 32 minutes. Also, they have a questionable tag on the wing, Kevin Huerter. So if he happens to miss, then even more minutes for Bogdanovich. But I think this 53 price tag is just a little bit too low. He should be able to get you 6x, if not more, with the way that handles the ball a little bit, gets you some rebounds, and will take close to 15 shots a game. Other plays at shooting guard that look somewhat appealing. Looks like the Magic are getting Suggs back. He hasn't played in a lot of games at all. He's only 48. He's at point guard, but I would probably pass unless we get word that he's not on a minutes limit, which I would be shocked if that is the case. But for shooting guard, you have a couple of guys in the 3K range that we can talk about. We saw a very big game by John Conchar yesterday. He's been getting more minutes with them not having Dillon Brooks, and he's been making the most of it. I mean, he's shooting 50+% from distance. Somehow he's only shooting 56% from the free throw line, but he hits his shots, and somehow he had 17 rebounds yesterday, which is just mind-boggling. So I think he looks like a pretty good value play. I definitely looked him over like Zaire Williams on the same team. Small forward, like Tatum today, with that Marcus Smart news, just one less body that's going to get a lot of usage, or I guess at least some usage. Smart's not a high usage player, but we've seen Tatum play like 37 to 40 minutes in close games. This one should be competitive. The Boston-Philly rivalry goes back a couple years. Tatum has typically played well against Philly, averaging 48 fantasy points this year in 2 meetings. He's only hit 3 threes during that 2-game stretch. We know that he can get hot from 3 and put in 4, 5, 6 threes a game. And 93, looking at his price tag, it was well over 10K, 10.4. He was over 11K at one point. So we're getting a nice price tag on Tatum with them not being that many other pay-ups here, with Butler questionable and Brown similarly priced. Looking for a value pick, I think Franz Wagner at 59 looks appealing. Harrison Barnes, 55 looks good given how good the matchup is. And you can maybe look to some of these Golden State guys with them missing a couple of bodies, like Porter Jr. at 47 gives you some upside there. But another piece that looks fine for a value pick is going to be DeAndre Hunter. He's only $3,400. I think him and Bogdanovich both look appealing from the Atlanta side. He missed like 2 months exactly, and then he came back and he played 24 minutes. So he wasn't even on like a hard minutes limit of under 20. He only had 1 rebound, had a block and steal, but 15 points. Maybe he gets up to like 26 to 27 today. Probably wouldn't see over 30 minutes, but he's, you don't even need to get for him to get over 30 minutes at this price tag. 34 is too cheap. He was like $45, $47 player, and without Cam Reddish, just more usage for these other guys on the wing. And Cam Reddish has been hurt, so it's not much of a difference, but just one less body that they're going to have to factor in rotations. Other players at power forward, probably would pass on Sabonis now that LeVert is back. He's just a little bit too expensive. Then you can go Tobias. You can definitely go Jaren Jackson at 72, depending on, even if Adams is in, I think he's still a fine play with how many blocks he's just been racking up recently. OG looks good if there's no Scotty Barnes. And you can maybe look to Clark if there's still no Steven Adams today. And then in the 4K range, you're just taking some shots on some of these guys, like Bagley gives you some upside, but don't have much confidence in that range. The 3K range, you have Gallo is going to get more minutes. But, and you can maybe look to Wagner if there's still no Mo Bamba today. At center, your pay-ups are Embiid, who has put up 31 points in like 4 straight games, or 5 straight games, which is crazy. Over 30 points in, I think, 8 games now, going for that AI record. So against Boston, you expect Embiid to show up. He definitely hates Boston, and with them not still being missing a couple of guys, I think Embiid is still going to dominate. Siakam looks fine. He's only center eligible, which is annoying because at least if he was power forward eligible, it would be a lot easier to get to him, but a little bit tougher to do that at 95 power forward. I like going down to Christian Wood at 74. Just a nice price tag on him. He gives you upside, in games that project to be close, like this one will probably be a close game between Houston and Sacramento. Christian Wood plays bigger minutes and has been fine in most of these games. Some of these games, if he's struggling or in foul trouble, which he's typically not in, but if he's struggling, then it's just going up against like a tougher matchup, like Philly going up against Embiid. Dallas, it was a blowout in that one. But I think this game will be close, and we're getting a good price tag on Christian Wood, which is why I have him plugged in right now at my center spot. Other plays at center would definitely be Yurtsevin. You can look to him at 72, but Dedmon coming back hurts him a little bit. Jakob Poeltl still at a good price tag at 63, and then Mo Bamba, if he plays, he should be able to just destroy this Charlotte front court. He's averaging 36 against them in 2 meetings, and I would expect him to have another very good game today. Now, for my last spot, going with the guard position, I'm going to plug in Darius Garland, who's only $7,800, only point guard eligible, but we can use him at the guard spot or the utility spot. He's just been doing everything for the team ever since they've lost like Ricky Rubio, and ever since like Sexton's gone down a couple months ago. He's just really stepped up and having a career year. Even though some of these games he's not shooting the ball like super well, only made 3 field goals, but he put up 50 last game with a triple-double. He's just been doing everything, plays a lot of minutes, and he's been in the high 30s, 40s, and 50s a lot more than you would have expected this year. And the price tag is only 78 when he was 93, 94. Very tough to get to him, but 78 is just very easy against San Antonio. So those are the 6 early looks that I got for today. Let's go over to FanDuel. All right, for FanDuel, starting off at point guard, your payups are Steph Curry, who's up to 11K. That's probably a pass for me on FanDuel. I think Luka looks a little bit better at 10.5, say $500. You can maybe go to like Van Fleet or John Morant in the 9K range, but the 8K range looks pretty good on FanDuel. You have LaMelo Ball, very nicely priced. Darius Garland, nicely priced. Even have like Cole Anthony playable. Kyle Lowry if there's no Butler. And the 6K range of Cade Cunningham right at 6,000, which makes no sense. Brunson is only 6K. Maxey gives you some upside there. KPJ, risky, but does give you a high ceiling, a low floor at times. And I don't know if you need to go to anybody down here. Just we have enough guys that are in like the 6 to 8K range that look appealing. First guy I'm going to plug in here is going to be Darius Garland at 8,000. Just like him on both sides. Pretty nicely priced, even on FanDuel at 8,000. Not much of a difference, given how much he's been contributing with the assists and been getting you some rebounds and plays a lot of minutes. At shooting guard, I like Brown. I will definitely like Garland if you want to play him here. You have 72 for Zach LaVine. Looks good, even though he hasn't been showing off a high ceiling recently. But the matchup is fine against Golden State. They gave up a bunch of threes yesterday to the Bucks, and LaVine could get hot from distance. But you have to probably start with Cade Cunningham, even though he's not like a lock to go off. The price tag is just a little bit too cheap for the minutes that he plays. If he does have a very good game and puts up like high 40s or 50, then you're going to need him. He was super consistent a couple weeks ago, then he got hurt for a little bit, or I don't know if he was in protocols. But since he's been back, he's had one big game. But I think more games are coming. Last game was a blowout against Chicago. This one might be a blowout, but at least they're at home against Toronto, who could be missing some bodies. Bogdanovich makes some sense at 6K, but he looks better on DraftKings, saving about $700. If no Herter, that makes Bogdanovich look better. Shooter looks better without Marcus Smart. And, you couldn't go to Jordan Poole. He's going to get the start in place of Klay Thompson, and there's also no Gary Payton, so more minutes for Jordan Poole to maybe kind of have a spark. Small forward, I like Tatum at 97. There's not a ton of great payups on this slate, so I'll be able to get up to Tatum, I think, at 97. Other plays would be Brown, save $800 if you want to do that. You can go to Gordon Hayward as a mid-range option, OG, depending on some of the other news out of Toronto. You have Wiggins right at 6K. He's going to be able to take more shots and have more usage today without Thompson in there. And then even like Harrison Barnes looks playable at 55 as a value pick. And those are the main guys. If you wanted to go to a value piece, you have Hunter. He's playable, but at 42, a lot different than 34 on DraftKings. Power forward, Jackson is priced up to 82, so that seems a little bit tougher to get to. I like Jared Allen at 8,000. But I'm going to start with Christian Wood at 72. He's just nicely priced. He shouldn't really be in this range, I would say, going up against Sacramento. Should be able to have success in that front court. Other plays in terms of just a value option would be Rashawn Holmes if he's able to play and start and he's not on like a limit would be a good play at 56. That would make Len not appealing. Crowder had a good game last time out, but maybe look to like Bagley at 44. Looks better. And he's been playing better as of late. And at center, Embiid looks great if you wanted to get up to him. If not, if you're going with like a value pick in the mid-range, I like Ayton at 7,000 going up against the Pacers. Yurtseven looks good at 68. And then if Mo Bamba is able to play, I would like to get to him at 58. Otherwise, I think Jakob Poeltl at 61 just gives you a pretty solid floor. And they're going to need him out there going up against this bigger Cleveland team. So right now I have Jakob Poeltl. You might be able to get up to Yurtseven depending on what other news we get throughout the day. But that's about it for the video. Thank you for watching. Best of luck tonight, and I will see you all next time.